Welcome to China Truths. In this episode, we will bring you the following stories. Keqiang's classmate says China's statistics are unreliable. She's trusted Aide's cry of poverty in Guizhou is a strategy. Now, let's dive into the details. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Keqiang's classmate says China's statistics are unreliable. A former classmate of ex-Chinese Premier Keqiang has questioned the reliability of China's official statistics. He argues that misleading data requires additional false data to sustain the narrative, creating a vicious cycle of misinformation. Guizhou, an international arbitrator and attorney at France's Court of Appeal, was a classmate of Keqiang at Peking University Law School, class of 1977. In a recent op-ed for the Financial Times, Tao stated that many observers suspect China's GDP data in recent years has been overstated. Local officials often see meeting GDP targets as both job security and a pathway to promotion. Tao pointed out that China's official statistics, particularly annual GDP figures, have long been subject to the CCP's strict scrutiny. He referenced Keqiang's 2007 public acknowledgement that these figures are unreliable. Instead, Li proposed three alternative indicators to evaluate economic performance: railway freight volume, electricity consumption, and bank loans. These later became known as the Keqiang Index. At the time, Li had yet to become China's premier. In recent years, the Chinese government has increasingly suppressed dissenting voices regarding economic data. In August 2021, the Cyberspace Administration of China, CAC, banned social media posts that distort macroeconomic data. This crackdown escalated an atmosphere of distrust. The CAC identified 8 focus areas for enforcement, including misinterpreting official policies and data, spreading malicious negativity about China's financial markets and economy, uncritically republishing foreign commentary, sharing unverified rumors, manipulating economic information for personal gain. Tao noted that these restrictions have silenced prominent Chinese economists. Many banks and research institutions are now reluctant to publish forecasts lower than the official data. In some cases, economists were explicitly told not to criticize official figures. He argued that this suppression has backfired, as jokes about GDP figures have become more common in private discussions. Transparent, reliable, and up-to-date data allows investors to monitor developments and manage expectations, Tao warned. If basic statistics like GDP, consumer indices, and unemployment rates lose credibility, investors will be forced to prepare for worst-case scenarios. In 2023, after several months of record-high youth unemployment rates, China's National Bureau of Statistics stopped publishing these figures. A new metric excluded students from the calculation, yet unemployment still remained high. In December 2023, China's Ministry of State Security warned prominent social media commentators to stop criticizing the economy and spreading false information. Some foreign media outlets reported that Zhu Hongpeng, a senior economist at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, disappeared after making negative remarks about the economy in a private WeChat group. These unsettling developments have deepened doubts about the reality of China's economy, creating what is known as the Tacitus trap, Tao wrote. The theory, named after the Roman historian Tacitus, posits that when public trust in the government declines, citizens perceive all government-issued information, whether true or false, as untrustworthy. Some netizens have even joked that China's recent economic success owes more to the National Bureau of Statistics, the Propaganda Department, and the Cyberspace Administration than to actual growth. This new status quo is unsustainable and harmful to long-term growth, Tao argued. Distorted information creates a destructive feedback loop. One misleading statistic necessitates others to sustain the narrative, perpetuating a cycle of misinformation. Tao concluded by urging greater transparency, rule of law, and objective economic analysis to help businesses make informed decisions. He called on Beijing not only to allow but also to encourage experts to conduct open and critical analysis, as this would support sustainable economic development. She's trusted Aide's cry of poverty in Guizhou is a strategy. Former party secretary of Guizhou province, Sun Keqiang, was sentenced to death with a 2-year reprieve at the end of last month for bribery. Analysis of the case points out that Xi Jinping's trusted aide, Su Lin, exposed Guizhou's debt problems as a means of taking down Sun and other high-ranking officials, but one of Sun's crimes was deliberately hidden. This crime involved too many high-level officials and sensitive issues, making the authorities reluctant to fully expose it. In recent years, many corrupt officials from Guizhou have fallen from power. Among them, 3 members of the same Political Consultative Conference, or CPPCC, were implicated: Li Ziyong, Zhou Jianquan, and Chen Yan. Previously, Wang Fuyu, the chairman of the Guizhou provincial CPPCC, had also been removed. Over the successive terms of Guizhou's provincial party secretaries, from Chen Min'er to Sun Keqiang to Chen Yiqin, nearly 100 provincial and municipal officials were promoted, many of whom later fell from power. Among them, Sun was the highest-ranking. Sun Keqiang, who was sentenced to death with a 2-year reprieve on October 29 this year, worked in Guizhou as the governor from October 2015 until he stepped down as the provincial party secretary in November 2021. His successor as the provincial party secretary, Chen Yiqin, handed over the post to Su Lin in December 2022. Su Lin, who was once the head of the Shanghai propaganda department, was part of Xi Jinping's inner circle during Xi's brief tenure in Shanghai. After Xi became president, Su served in various positions, including deputy head of the Central Propaganda Department, director of the Central Cybersecurity and Information Leading Group Office, director of the State Internet Information Office, and deputy director of the State Council Information Office. Su Lin, who hoped to accumulate political achievements during his 5-year tenure as Guizhou's party secretary in order to pave the way for a vice state-level position at the 21st Party Congress, has been busy dealing with the province's severe debt crisis and preventing a return to widespread poverty, cleaning up the mess left by his predecessors. Local media under Su's instructions actively disclosed that Guizhou's debt had exceeded 1.5 trillion yuan, or about $207 billion, not including hidden debts. This figure was shocking, given that the province's annual general budget revenue was only about 200 billion yuan, or about $27.6 billion. Furthermore, Guizhou's Government Development Research Center published a provincial debt research report in April last year, openly declaring to the State Council that Guizhou was deep in a debt crisis and could not save itself, seeking support and solutions from higher authorities. Su Lin, adept at propaganda, leveraged his close ties to Xi Jinping to publicly expose Guizhou's debt crisis, something leaders in other provinces would dare not even consider. This, in turn, posed a threat to Sun Keqiang. After Su Lin took office, he began a review of officials left behind by his predecessors, including Li Ziyong, former vice chairman of the Guizhou CPPCC, and officials associated with Chen Min'er, Sun Keqiang, and Chen Yiqin. Su Lin ordered the exposure of the serious local debt crisis, which had been exacerbated by Sun and his predecessors' reckless borrowing in the name of political achievements. Su Lin's move to expose the debt crisis to the public also served as a way to distance himself from the mistakes of his predecessors and push for accountability from the central government regarding the creators of this crisis. Both the Central Commission for Discipline Inspections report and the Procurator's indictment conveniently omitted Sun Keqiang's charge of abusing power. This is significant because both Li Ziyong, who was imprisoned before Sun, and Qin Rupei, who was jailed afterward, were prosecuted for violating regulations on borrowing and held accountable for abusing power. The failure to publicly go after Sun's abuse of power charge was likely due to the authorities' concern that exposing this crime could lead to a wider investigation, potentially implicating current high-level officials such as Chen Min'er and Chen Yiqin. From 2015 to 2020, Guizhou saw its local debt expand the fastest, and Sun Keqiang, who was in charge during that period, should bear significant responsibility for these problems. During these 5 years, Chen Min'er served as the party secretary, Sun as the governor, and later Sun became the secretary while Chen Yiqin took over as governor. If accountability were pursued fairly, all 3 should apologize to the people of Guizhou for the debt crisis. If an investigation were to be conducted into a provincial party secretary's massive debt accumulation as a form of abuse of power for political vanity projects, it could lead to uncomfortable comparisons with Xi Jinping's own Xiongmen New Area project, which has been plagued by construction delays and failures. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us.